Comment on any of the videos this week on Beasts of War, Facebook or YouTube for your chance to win one of our great Team Yankee prizes. This week you could win one of 2 Mega Starter Bundle sets to get you and a friend into Team Yankee, which include the Soviet Starter Set, the German Starter Set, the Team Yankee Core Rulebook and the new Leopard Book. What are you waiting for, everybody? Get your comments in, you could win. Hi guys, welcome back to Team Yankee Leopard Week here on BeastsOfWar.com. Okay, so today what I'm wanting to sit down and do is, Phil, you've been chatting to me about possibly doing an Icelandic campaign. Now, I thought we were talking Germans here for a start, but what has brought you to actually say you want to try a campaign for this, now that this is out?
Well, Red Storm Rising is a book that came out about the same time as Team Yankee, and one of the big things there is it's got the invasion of Iceland. And it just seems like an interesting way of creating a new sort of area, you know, boundary around the game. And instead of being just another game set in, you know, okay, let's get 100 points on a 6x4 table, a campaign somewhere slightly different just sounds awesome. And we could start with the invasion, the counter-invasion by the Americans, or maybe actually the American troops aren't available. They use their amphibious gear to bring in some West German troops or something.
All right, well, I mean, like, I'm assuming we're taking for granted that has Russia already invaded Iceland, or?
Well, I'd really like to start the new Afghansty helicopter assault list. It's got lots of assault helicopters and troops and so forth, and maybe playing counterattack or one of the more missions ones like Breakthrough or something.
Yeah.
And use the helicopter landing force and have a small local force trying to stop them. Maybe a relatively small point force game, you know, and we'll open with that maybe.
Yeah.
And then, much like the scenarios in the book, in the rulebook and in Leopard, just have a small consequence for victory or loss. So if the Soviets lose, obviously somewhere else in Iceland they won and they'll eventually do it. But you know, they get a penalty for the next game, or if they win, they get a bonus for the next game. And then,
well, you see, this really boils down to building campaigns for Team Yankee in general.
Yeah.
Is it something that's feasible to do, and how do you actually go about doing it? Because I mean, like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, so I have to have a bit of a storyline that I'm trying to work through for my campaign. So, like you say, let's invade Iceland.
Yep.
Not actually. But so the first thing we need to do, we need to figure out.
Depends on, is it when you're playing Iceland tomorrow? Or, no.
Well,
no. Good point.
Let's not talk football. This is a wargaming channel. But no, the first thing we need to do is we need to land our forces. So, what's the first thing we need to do to land our forces on Iceland to take the island back from Russia or from the Soviet Union?
Well, we're going to need some landing craft.
All right.
And
well, you sent me through a PDF here. Is this what you've came up with? Yeah.
As I said, getting keen on this whole campaign thing, so I already brought this along with me. And we have a, what is it, UCAC or something? I can't remember. LCAC, Landing Craft Air Cushion. This thing is big enough to hold a tank, and it's a hovercraft. Think of the cross-channel hovercraft type thing.
Yeah.
So we've got that, and we've got the slightly older LCM 8, I think it is, which again can hold a tank. So these two here, print some of them out, mount them on card and so forth.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can do a landing one. If we want the Russians, of course, we've got the Lebed, which is the Russian landing craft one as well.
All right, so basically if the Russians are getting reinforcements, they could maybe roll to see if they're coming in from the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be interesting.
And if we play, you know, standard missions, we've got the...
which mission would best suit, you know, a beach landing? Because, I mean, like, it's something I haven't really thought of for Team Yankee because we seem to be right in the heart of Europe at the minute.
Yeah, but it's just go anywhere.
No, let's go nuts with it.
So let's go with the no retreat mission.
Okay, so we've got this no retreat mission. What are we seeing here?
Basically, you've got the defenders on this side, attackers coming from this area.
Okay.
And we could customize it. Instead of just having a deployment area, we get the Pacific maps. Pacific mats that give you the beach area.
Yeah.
And the TV series, The Pacific, was filmed largely in Iceland.
Really?
So Icelandic beaches must look something like Pacific beaches.
It's a good step of logic, that. Yeah.
So
I don't know. They might have planted a few fake trees there, but okay.
Yep, but fortunately the map's just water and so forth, or the D-Day ones. So
Yeah.
we just put that there, and now we've
Yeah.
got some water to come in from,
Yeah.
and counter-invade the Soviet forces there.
Okay, so we've got our landing craft. Are there aquatic rules in the system that could maybe be converted across to this that have
Yeah.
already been used in previous books?
Yep, well, grab a copy of Gung Ho.
Okay.
Has got them, and the old D-Day stuff, and I think there's the D-Day stuff's on the web. So you can grab the World War II rules and apply them, or just simply play a game of No Retreat, but just have them come on.
Well, I don't know, because if
either
we're
way.
going to the bother of making some landing craft,
Yeah,
I would like to
oh.
have them interact a little bit more.
Yeah, well, definitely the D-Day and Gung Ho rules give you a really different landing game.
Like
half
maybe
your
make it a
forces-
little less severe, house rule it so it's not, okay, I'm deploying here, oh wait, no, I'm half a dozen, I'm
Yeah,
a foot down
these
the wrong
things
way.
have got more than enough power to not worry about current and so
Yeah,
forth. So,
it'll
yeah.
maybe deviate slightly, but not as much as the old stuff.
And of course, you don't have to get off on the beach. You can always go inshore a little bit if you want. Yeah. Of course, these things are, again, classic landing craft.
Yeah, now those
And-
I would expect to be more in tune
Yeah.
with those rules and actually be more effective because it actually is a boat.
Yeah, and I mean, these things are cheap. These things are brand new at the time. So I'd probably think of giving the player a couple of those and a pile of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if you assign even really low point values to these, so say it's 1 point for the boat and say 2 points for the big hovercraft,
Yeah.
something like that, and have them use it in their army list to actually get them there.
Yep.
Because then that sort of balances out of the Russian forces being able to come back a little bit stronger and actually be that dug-in defender. Because you kind of want this to be an asymmetric game that you're going to have to play here, so you can't
Definitely.
really have even points.
Yeah.
So that's something to drag it back.
Yeah. And,
right, so
At the
no
terrain
land-
on that one, we're going to want really rocky looking grass and rocks.
and sand.
Yeah. Sounds what I know of Iceland, but I'm sure my Icelandic friends are going to tell me that it's nothing like that at all. But
Right. Challenge for the community. If you're from Iceland, I would like some pictures of your beaches.
That'll sort that one out for us then.
That'll sort that one out for us. Okay, so let's say we've landed on Iceland. Let's say attackers have won, they've landed, they've taken the beachhead.
Yep.
What's the next step in any invasion?
well,
Let's plan it out.
next thing we've got to do is defeat the counterattack that's going to come in, and then take the capital.
Okay.
So two more missions maybe. So
okay.
we'll have a 4-mission campaign. Nice
Okay.
and short. We can get it done. We play 2 a day. We can actually play it on the weekend,
Yeah.
and that's awesome.
All right. Well, I am seeing a counterattack mission here as well. So
Yep.
would we use this?
Yep. Or we could do dust up, but counterattack. Since we're talking counterattack, sounds like an excellent one.
Yep.
And I'm thinking we don't want too much in the way of necessarily heavy stuff on the Soviet defenders' side. I mean, they've got to get the stuff into Iceland. So
Well, you have to assume it's going to be a garrison force.
yeah.
So these guys, they're maybe not the best of the best frontline troops. These are the guys, they're, second stringers. They're being set up just to hold the line.
Actually, in Red Storm Rising, they're the best of the best in elite assault force, because basically there's only so much transport, and you're going to have to take this place. And Iceland's really important because it's an unsinkable aircraft carrier in the middle of the Atlantic.
Fair point. But this is your attacker that you're wanting the best of the best. I'm thinking your defenders might not be the best of
Well,
the best.
the thing is, once the Soviets take it, they're not going to waste more time taking the troops that are taking it back to the Soviet Union.
Actually,
So-
fair point.
You're going to end up with some pretty elite troops
Okay.
there. Light equipment, but elite troops.
Yeah, so you have to consider the sort of forces you're going to want to play with for the narrative of this. So for your Soviets, you'd have plenty of scouting stuff because
And
they would have had to do it to take
BMPs
it.
rather than tanks. And,
Yeah.
A few
You-
tanks. I mean, they can ship them, but not like
Yeah.
hordes of tanks.
Yeah, so you would possibly look at a mechanized infantry platoon to build your Soviet side for this, yeah?
Yeah.
And for let's say your West German, again, it's going to be light, fast assault forces, so you're going to want to possibly go mechanized again.
Yeah.
Maybe with the odd bit of armor in just to mix it up.
And if we keep the points low, and when we take the Leopard Panzeraufklärung stuff, so we've got Leopard 1s and Lukes and Fuchs and so forth, light stuff, maybe a few Martyrs and so forth.
Okay.
And then we get this sort of because you're trying to get these in landing craft, and also this is secondary theatre. I mean, the Leopards are really needed defending Germany proper.
Yeah, so here you're going to see some of that older equipment coming out and being brought out to a battle where it's actually useful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we've had our counter-attack. Let's say Soviets have won. The counter-attack has been a success. What's the next phase?
Well, we're talking about taking the capital, and we're talking about battlefields before, and your idea of having a table where there's two different halves to it.
Yeah.
So we could use the no retreat again. Always nice and easy to take the same mission and then just tweak it slightly. But this time, basically, we have the main road into Reykjavik. Is that how you pronounce it? Sorry, guys, if I got it wrong.
Okay.
And and then just the outskirts of the town. So, Icelandic people, can we have some photos of the outskirts of your capital as well, please? Because
okay, so
You're starting to sound like a spy. I need pictures of your beaches and pictures of the outskirts of your city.
and your tanks and your armored forces and anything else you've got over there that we might need to know about when we invade. New Zealand has plans for this side of the world.
You see, that's something.
You're about the right size. We can actually take you.
Hang on. There's something interesting that you could throw into your campaign is actually having sort of an espionage thing in between the missions.
Yeah.
Because let's say I'm playing West Germans. I've won the first match. I've now landed. I would say it might be fun to actually give me an opportunity to have a bit of a spy on what my opponent is, say, doing for the next match. So I've won, therefore I get to spy on his forces. So I get to see his army list beforehand, and for the next mission, I get to retailor my forces a little bit. I've brought in reinforcements, and I know what I'm dealing with a little better.
Or maybe, to be not quite so harsh,
That's not harsh. That's friendly.
a 50-point force, tell me the first 25 points, your core 25 points. And that way I know sort of what you've got, but it's not quite I'm totally tailored to killing you.
Your basic intelligence might even be down to what tanks do you have, what artillery do you have air support, yes or no?
Yeah.
But I think something like that, a mechanic like that within this campaign could be very fun.
Yeah.
In fact, I tell you what, the way you do it is whenever you're first building your army lists, what's your point list for what you're putting on the table at a time?
Yep.
How much are you going to lay on the table at a time?
Maybe, as I said, 50 points might be good for the oldest type technology we're talking about.
Okay. Well, let's say I have my 50 points for on the table.
Yep.
I then have another 50-point sideboard, which I can then draw from as reinforcements to bring in and out of each mission.
Yep.
So I can retailer from a set pool that I've pre-done.
And then what we can do, just to tie it all together, is your standard core force you get every time.
Yeah.
You get rebuilt if you get shot up.
Yeah.
But the sideboard stuff is one use only. You lose troops, they're gone.
Yeah.
So your artillery got hammered. Look at what the Frogfoots did to it.
Yeah. My artillery is at half strength at the end of this game. Next time I bring them out, they're nowhere near as effective.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be very
cool.
But
then tie it to they still count as their full points. So you can bring your artillery on, but they're not very good at the moment. They've been hammered. But later on in the game, campaign, it might be, well, actually a half-strength artillery unit at full price is actually quite good compared with the other alternatives.
I like the idea of actually having consequences to your games, actually seeing your force dwindle as you lose forces and you're not getting reinforced and resupplied. So that's one thing a lot of wargamers are going to take for granted a lot of the time. I can always have my force, my way, at full strength, and ready to go.
If you were to do it over the length of a campaign that was more than a weekend long, you could also have that every fourth game you play, you get 25 points of reinforcements.
Yeah.
To recharge. Maybe your artillery unit has just received a couple of new vehicles or new guns or new crews.
Yeah. And with doing it as a club event, you can carry it on going like that. But yeah, one thing just from experience, got to have that fixed core that you can always rely on, because otherwise I lost the first game really badly. Okay, I'll bring everything else I've got. I lost the second game very badly.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Well, you could say, okay, fine, your core stuff will always refresh to full strength.
Yeah.
That I definitely agree with, because it gives you a solid fighting force.
Yep.
But if you're coming up against a mission where, okay, I really need some artillery for this, or okay, I have the feeling that he's going to bring his aircraft on for this next mission because it's going to help him.
Extra AA.
I need to get my extra AA in here, or my AA that I have here isn't good enough because it's the older stuff, but on my sideboard I have better stuff, but it's been battered through the mission, so let's wedge out an infantry platoon and bring that in. It gives you some really nice tactical dilemmas, which can be fun.
And the surprise of, especially if you've got that spying going on, it's like, This looks like you're going to bring your big hind pile. Cool, Gepards and Rolands.
Let the fireworks begin.
Of course, then there's the intelligence thing of, actually, no, I wasn't bringing any helicopters at all, sorry.
Oh, that double cross, that double.
Yeah, but you see, whenever different people are winning, you could have it that you have the option. Okay, I can either spy on what he's bringing, or would there be something else you could do along those lines? I can scout the battlefield for the next game, and actually then you get to set
Or
up
I
more
just get
terrain.
extra 5-10 points.
Yep, that could work
So
too.
instead of knowing what's coming and preparing for it, I just get a little bigger force,
Yeah, I
but
can
it's
bring an
blind.
extra unit in here.
But it's coming in blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, here, I'm relying on you to remember all this and write it up. We're on camera brainstorming this idea, and hopefully, by the time this goes out, Phil, you may have a bit of a write-up for this that people can download, hopefully.
Yep. Sounds good. We've got the PDF, and
Yep.
we'll get some of these ideas written up.
Yep, so
So
we'll
cool.
get some scenario ideas written up. So,
Yep.
so far, scenario 1, we have no retreat. Scenario 2, we have counter-attack. Scenario 3, we have no retreat reversed.
No, but you missed the first scenario, which was going to be the assault landing.
Yeah, which we're going to use no retreat for.
Were we?
Yeah,
No,
for the
I
beach
thought we were
landing.
talking. No, not the beach landing.
No?
The Afghanistan assault in the
Oh,
first
you're right,
place.
right, right.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and something like Bridgehead out of
Okay.
the More Missions pack would be a great one for that
Okay.
one.
You can tell we're brainstorming this live because now we've totally forgot what we thought we were saying at the start of the video.
So hang on, that's 4 missions so
Yeah.
far.
Yep.
I think we need a 5th one just to round out this scenario series. So what would be, the close to a campaign? What's the final goal? So taking a city or taking a major objective. What would be the best scenario from one of the 2 books to do that? Because I know in Leopard you have some new scenarios in
Yeah.
there as well. So would there be one from it that would work well?
Well, we have some scenarios as opposed to missions, but they'd be easy to adapt to different forces because they've got alternative force ratings and so forth. But the best one is probably either delaying attack, where, in fact, we could insert that as the road to the capital. And it's a great mission where the 2 forces are both trying to take key positions in the middle. So yeah, let's throw this one in. We'll change the forces because this is really tank heavy. It's got lots of Leopards and T-72s.
Yeah, but we can use the flavour.
Yeah, and
Flavor
the
that
general
to begin
rules
with.
and so forth.
Yeah. Okay, so that becomes our 4th scenario.
I don't know. We're going to have
Okay.
to sort of work this out, and I'll write it all up, and we'll know what we're doing.
All right.
But
well,
there's lots of really great ideas here now. I've got it all sort of in my
All
head,
right.
and
okay. Well, I tell you what. We'll put the PDF of our ideas all into this video, but everybody down below, I want you to put in your ideas to actually finish up this campaign. So we'll have our first draft already in here, but at the end of the week, on our final video, we will put in the completed PDF, maybe adding in some extra ideas that have came along. So
Yep.
get your comments in below because it could add up to a really, really cool Team Yankee campaign. Also, don't forget, you can win by commenting on this video on Beasts of War YouTube or Facebook, and you could win one of the 2 2-player starter bundles that we're giving away this week, including the German starter set, the Russian starter set, Team Yankee, and the Leopard book. Disengaging. Guys, we'll move on here. We'll see you in the next video.